Well, the heat is on Sonia Gandhi's son in the Vadra deals expose, which stalled proceedings today in Parliament. The opposition is demanding a thorough investigation into the alleged irregularities in the land deals involving Robert Vadra, while Congress has refuted all the allegations.
Vast swaths of wasteland in Rajasthan's Bikaner district. And it is here that Robert Vadra profited from this barren land. Was Vadra just a shrewd speculator? Or did he have prior information about the potential of this arid stretch? While Robert Vadra may have bought several hundred acres of land before the amendment of the Land Ceiling Act, Headlines Today reveals just 4 transactions which total 321.78 acres, which is nearly double the permissible limit of 175 acres. This is Basti Chawanan village in the Kolayat region of Bikaner. 218 acres of land were bought in 2009 by Vadra's frontman Mahesh Nagar, the man who struck all the deals for Robert Vadra in Bikaner's Kolayat region. Vadra buys over 36 acres of land on the 4th of June 2009. Here the land deal documents mention Mahesh Nagar as the buyer on behalf of Blue Breeze Private Trading Limited, the company that has Robert Vadra as its director. Vadra bought another 27 acres of land in Gajner village again on the 4th of June 2009. Once again, the buyer is Mahesh Nagar. On the 12th of June 2009, Vadra mopped up 39 acres of land again in Gajner village. Mahesh Nagar bought this land on behalf of Blue Breeze Trading. But Nagar is only the authorized signatory, not the owner of the land. The companies he represented for the land deals, Real Earth and Blue Breeze, have Robert Vadra as the majority stakeholder. For instance, Vadra owns 99% equity in Real Earth, his mother Maureen owning the remaining 1%. According to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website, there are only 2 shareholders in Blue Breeze Trading Private Limited, Robert and his mother Maureen. Headlines Today has exclusive access to copies of checks issued in the name of Real Earth Estates Private Limited, which bear the signatures of Robert Vadra. These checks paid for buying land are proof that Vadra was operating through his frontman Mahesh Nagar. Headlines Today tracked down Mahesh Nagar, the frontman for Robert Vadra, in Faridabad. He refused to respond after promising first to speak to Headlines Today.
घर में कोई और है जिससे बात हो? ललित नागर जी? कोई भी नहीं है.
These transactions are in clear violation of the Rajasthan Imposition of Ceiling on Agricultural Holdings Act of 1973, as Vadra had crossed the maximum permissible limit of 175 acres by April 2009. Vadra bought more than 321 acres of land between April 2009 and August 2010. This was in violation of the Rajasthan Imposition of Ceiling on Agricultural Holdings Act of 1973. Land ceiling was stretched to the maximum limit in desert and semi-desert zones for Vadra. According to the law, 125 to 175 acres is the permissible limit in desert and semi-desert zones.
रोबर्ट वाड्रा का तो जब चेक आया था जब भी पता चला था उसी टाइम. पहले डीलिंग में पता नहीं था किसके लिए हुई है परचेज. महेश नगर जी आए थे मिलने के लिए. हाँ, जमीन को हमने चेक किया था, इसके अंदर कोई मिनरल वगैरह नहीं है. उसमें कोई मिनरल वगैरह नहीं आया था.
First, the Ashok Gehlot government was guilty of looking away as Robert Vadra went about building his land bank in Rajasthan in 2009. But what is more intriguing is that soon after Vadra started on his land buying spree, the land laws of the state were amended to make Vadra's land dealings suddenly legally permissible. In September 2010, the state government amended a more than 3 decades old law and scrapped the ceiling on land. The amendment was loaded with retrospective clauses, making all previous acquisitions legal, spurring Vadra to buy more land in the region.
One, the government came with an amendment in 2010 that this ceiling is no more, with an amendment in section 17, and no permission should be taken by any investor or class of person. Secondly, to circumvent all this procedure, different companies were incorporated and different companies have purchased this land. But at the prima facie, one has to see that behind all these companies, the class of investors or the shareholders are the same or not. Ultimately, it frustrates the purpose if it goes to a single investor or a purchaser.
Senior lawyer KTS Tulsi, however, says Robert Vadra is just a good businessman.
One can't jump to the conclusion that they're privy to any confidential information. This is not an official secret. If the government's policy, and policies take years to fructify, and all this, we are also well known for red tape. If someone is intelligent enough to know that in future this is going to be the requirement for the particular project, which will have perhaps World Bank funding. Now, how is it that you want to deprive a person from indulging in legitimate private enterprise, and you want to question him as to why did you do this? Why are all the other thousands of other people indulging in the same thing?
While the change in the Land Ceiling Act by the Congress-led state government legitimized Vadra's violation, it also sat on its solar policy for almost 3 years, which was the period in which Vadra built his extensive land bank in the area.
Rajasthan government not just amended the law to scrap the ceiling on land purchases, it sat on the creation of land bank for the purpose of solar projects in the state. Robert Varda got the legal cover for his acquisitions made at a blinding pace in barren stretches, which later on turned into the solar hub of the state. BJP alleges that Vadra was privy to the information on rich harvest in the wasteland.
And here's how Vadra made a tidy profit in Bikaner. He bought 81.35 acres of land in Bikaner's Kolayat region and later sold it for a solar power project to the Indo-French company Fondroche Sares at 6 times the original price. Vadra made a 612% profit from just this one transaction. The price of land had shot up 6 times in a period just 2 years. In Gajner on the 4th of June 2009, Vadra's frontman Mahesh Nagar bought 37.29 acres of land and sold it for over 11 times the cost price in 3 years to the Indo-French company Fondroche Sares Energy Private Limited. On the 4th of June 2009, Vadra's frontman again bought 27.5 acres in Gajner and sold it for over 6 times the price. He bought the land for over 13 lakh rupees and sold it for over 75 lakh rupees to Fondroche Rajhans.
कि इसकी जांच होनी चाहिए कि 2006 और 7 में जब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने राजस्थान सरकार को ये कहा कि आप एक लैंड बैंक क्रिएट करो ताकि सोलर एनर्जी के प्लांट लगने वाले लोगों को जमीन मिल सके फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। पहली पॉलिसी में तो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट जमीन देने की बात थी। बाद में इन्होंने डिले किया, 3 साल तक इन्होंने कोई कार्रवाई उस पर की नहीं, इन्होंने लैंड बैंक क्रिएट किया नहीं। उसी बीच में रॉबर्ट वाड्रा से जुड़ी कंपनियां आई यहां पे और दलालों के माध्यम से यहां जमीनें खरीदी। खरीद करके एक मोटे अनुमान के अनुसार 10,000 बीघा जमीनें इन्होंने खरीदी है। ये जो बीकानेर से गजनेर से शुरू हो जाते हैं, गजनेर, कोलायत, आगे फलूदी तक, जैसलमेर, बाड़मेर तक ये पूरा एरिया जाता है। इसमें सोलर रेडिएशन ज्यादा है, सोलर प्लांट नहीं लगने थे।
As we unravel the Robert Vadra case files, there are several big questions that present themselves and require urgent answers because of the manner in which these transactions for land were actually conducted. The most important, the big first question, why did Robert Vadra actually want to buy barren land in Bikaner in violation of the Land Ceiling Act? Because a lot of people wonder what was the spark and the genesis of the interest in land that nobody else was interested in. Question number 2, why did the state government amend the law with retrospective effect in September 2010? When laws of this kind are amended, there are usually very, very rarely any retrospective clauses to benefit people who've used previous versions of that law in the past. Question number 3, was this a cover-up for an illegality committed by Robert Vadra? Was there a direct collusion between the governments of those states and Robert Vadra's business interests? And finally, question number 4, was Robert Vadra privy to information about the state government's new solar policy for the region, as a result of which there were windfall profits for him and his businesses?